Happy New Year, David.
So far.
Yeah, early on, right?
Let's see.
Back at it. It's amazing that transition, the end of December right into January, that little lull, that dip. You take that day after the holiday off, and then you're back in full swing. Traffic, commuting, clients, noise, all that good stuff. We are the Reboot. We have 2 here today. If anyone else joins, we'll add them. Again, talk about issues that small businesses face from everywhere. From we do get sort of technical in this group, but all business related topics. Today we're going to talk about direct mail marketing. Before we do that, I'm Brian Bradford with B&L PC Solutions, based out of Long Island, New York. I'm joined by my friend David.
And David Luft with LDD Consulting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Cool. All right, so direct mail. I think there's been a kind of a changeover. I think. I mean, which is mail in your mailbox, and people. A lot of it is junk mail, and then a lot of people have transitioned to the online platform, automation, CRM systems, and getting all that stuff done, kind of with less work and supposedly easier results. And I don't know that that's the case anymore, because you look at your own inbox, we're all inundated. So that has transitioned from the physical piece of mail to the digital, which is just as bad. I find myself managing, what I try to do is take some time once a week, do my unsubscribes and go through the mailbox and try to create rules and limit what I can see, what I need to see, right? And so in our businesses, and as in any business, you do need to market. You need to find your target audience and try to capture them in as many ways as you can. You want to put out those what are called touches, put those touches out, and direct mail for us is a key part of our marketing platform. And I know, David, you guys use that as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So we even in constant contact with your existing clients. We send out newsletters, physical 4-color print 4-page newsletters every month to existing clients and prospects. We send out postcards every month to prospects. We send out marketing campaigns, and so we're doing a lot of direct mail. And again, it's not cheap. I mean, you're not saving anything by doing it, but you still need to be in that game. And I know a lot of people don't believe in that and think that it's kind of gimmicky, and we'll call it whatever you want. But I will tell you firsthand, 80% of the prospects that I've sat down with in 2022 have had a piece of my mail with them when I talk to them. So it's a matter of hitting at the right time, the right spot. If you're marketing to the CPA field, you know what we've learned, and I kind of had my own trial and error with certain things, but I knew that CPAs I know they're busy times of year. We do a lot of work for the accounting firms, and when we were trying to market to them, we got a lot of kickback saying, "This is our busy season, leave us alone." But my goal with that was to capture those people, maybe the ones that were busy and weren't getting the IT support from their vendor that they needed because they were busy. Maybe they're having trouble with something. So that was my spin on it, was to try to capture them during a time of urgency or need. Didn't work out. And you know what? We noted it, we learned from it, and now we just we pivot our marketing times for them to a different month. And I think every vertical has their to some extent, some busy times and times to, where they don't want to be bothered. It's the consistency, right, David? It's the frequency, the follow-up, and just the repetitiveness of getting into that habit.
And I always tell my techs, you can email a customer, but you need to call them too, because everybody communicates differently.
Yeah.
And some people, I get so many emails, and now there's a lot of them are even from Gmail, which is weird. I just delete them. Yeah. I get marketing from Gmail.
Oh, marketing. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which is mostly, I assume it's, I don't know, whatever. I just delete them though. Whereas I think direct mail, if it's done appropriately, because I think our direct mails they're not necessarily selling anything. We're trying to help the customer understand different aspects of running a business.
Right. Right.
kind of like the Reboot,
Yeah, definitely.
where, and I think that really gets them interested in it and gets them engaged. And then it just keeps you at the top of their mind if something does happen.
It doesn't. We run that. So there's a couple of different. You can do however you want to do it, but for the way that we handle is we keep track of everything that we send out. We know where it's going, when it's landing. So the timing is key too,
Mm-hmm.
on the direct mail pieces. So postcards, newsletters go out. We know when they land. If we're doing a marketing campaign, we know when these pieces of mail are going out, how many we're sending out. If we're doing 50 a week, 75 a week, whatever your number is. It goes out on a Friday, it lands on a Monday. Then you do your calls on Tuesday to make sure that they got it and follow up. And they're sort of gimmicky with the campaigns that we run, but it's also they're engaging. There's something there that it's topical. I mean, we talked about this before with the auto industry and the compliance rules that they need to follow. You know what? That's a need. There's a need for that there. So why not market it?
Mm-hmm.
So find your and there has to be a reason for them to want to call. That call to action has to be clear. I've gone through some of even the postcards we send out. I strip out a lot of the stuff because I know that 90% of the people are not even reading. If there's paragraphs on a postcard, I'm not getting their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Short, sweet, have a call to action, a marketing message, and see where that gets you. Hello, David Groot. How are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Good.
Good.
Sorry I'm late.
No worries. Never late.
Actually,
Never late.
I was just meeting with my marketing people and we were looking over a great postcard that one of my friends had given for the safeguards rule.
Mm-hmm.
and talking about how to, some changes that we wanted to make to it too. But I think, it's really good. And just exactly what you said, how do you engage the customer in that stuff?
Yeah. That's and we do so along with our kind of I'll call it automated because we predefine our marketing postcards for the year, but then there's subsequent ones that we do on our own if we want to push our security stack. If we have a postcard for if there's a prospect that we talk to that already has an IT company, and they're and they could have called us. They could have gone, through SEO and found us and called us looking to make the move. And then we will send them, immediately a postcard with how easy it is to move to us with the 5 steps outlined on the back, like zero stress. It's got a cartoon on the front. It's relatable. You want to just make it something that's just fun, engaging, and people have told me that they love our marketing. That whoever does your marketing, like the concept behind it and the messaging is great. So it's good to get that kind of feedback as well.
Absolutely.
David Groot, you guys are doing you're doing your postcards as well, right? And your
Absolutely.
campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we do direct mail campaigns and postcards and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
and so I mean it's very effective.
It is, right? I mean, there's so I think we were talking earlier that the digital, that transition that was made years ago to let's do it all online, blast out messages to 1,000 contacts in email, and everyone's inbox now has become the place of clutter for this unwanted.
I was actually speaking to somebody in another meeting this morning, and we were talking about sort of similar stuff where email used to, as you say, Brian, used to be the go-to, right? And now it's kind of dead. And the comment this person was making that made me think of this is that they were saying TikTok new email campaign, and I'm like, okay. And my mind went through how long will it be before that's obsolete, right? Like, because that's what you're doing on some level. But
yeah.
So email was great. It still certainly. But I think as far as marketing, people have become completely new to it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think we keep metrics on what we send out. So, you take that data and you analyze it and you see, you may have a month where you get, and we're pretty successful with our direct mail numbers that are borderline on staggering with the type of results we're getting, with the send us more info, follow up with us, that type of stuff, which is hard to get. When you're sending someone a mailer, then you're calling them up and having a follow up conversation, and you may not get the decision maker on the phone, but to speak to someone to say, well, yeah, send him this info or send me this info, and I'll pass it along to him. To get that type of engagement is all you're looking for, And believe me, I'm the guy that I get solicited all the time, as I'm sure you guys do, could be from vendors, from whatever, and 9 times out of 10, I tell whoever answers the phone for me, take a message.
You know what? But every once in a while, I actually, because it's something that I have a need for.
Absolutely.
And it's been on my mind, but I haven't actually done anything about it yet. And then, hey, here's an opportunity, right? So that's what we're talking about. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the consistency part of sending them out monthly. You're always on their radar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For sure. And
exactly
the way that, and there's a lot of different systems out there, guys. There's, Salesforce, Infusionsoft. I mean, we use Infusionsoft, but there's a ton of different systems you can use. You do need, and I don't think anybody in any business would disagree that you need some sort of a CRM to help manage this process. And what the CRM does for us is not only does it keep track of our thousands of qualified prospects that we have, it also manages the flow of automation from that direct mail piece that's sent out. You enter that into the system, it automatically kicks out an email to our named point of contact, so that they, so there's some synergy there. And then, so there is some automation that happens behind the scenes, and then with the CRM, that automation also tells you on this day what phone calls to make. You can actually put your notes from each phone call into that, and that's even no one has a 100% cleaned list. So list cleaning, list scrubbing, whatever you want to call it, that process is still has to be done on every, we could acquire a list and it could take a year to get that thing cleaned. And when you think you have it cleaned, you'll send something out, and we try to vet every single line item on there. You'll send something out. I mean, even to this day, I'm still getting shit back in the mail. It's like, because you don't know, people are now, that hybrid environment is still heavily embraced, and there's just no office anymore. So you can't ask for your point of contact's home address to send something to. So in those situations, you have to kind of pivot there and heavily rely on digital marketing at that point. You can't, so there's, you have to find that trade-off. But like I said, for the most part, I mean, if we get return mail, it's probably maybe 3% is kickback because of, I don't want to call it bad cleaning, because cleaning the list is validating the address, the contact, the phone number, website, and all the basic legitimacy of the prospect. But
and then it can change in a week.
It can.
I said it can change in a week. Did you lose me?
No.
Yep.
Nope. You're there. I got you. You got us.
All right. Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. All right.
Sort of a bad connection here. But.
No, we got you. So, and so some of them, we could touch base on some of the messaging that you're trying to send out. We have, obviously being tech focused, we have a focus on cybersecurity. We have a focus on, VoIP systems, phone systems. It could be cabling. It could be, pick a project, pick something topical that you want to go out there and get that messaging sent out about. And you'd be surprised with the, again, we'll use, it could be Vistaprint, it could be Staples. I think we use Vistaprint for the most part for our own custom in-house postcards. We'll order 500 or 1,000 of them for a couple $100, whatever it costs. You get those things sent out, and then they're kind of on standby for future marketing needs. It could be if you're prospecting a different vertical now. Now you're focusing on, we hit the financial and accounting vertical pretty heavily with direct mail, with our postcards. And now let's keep them on what's called a drip campaign. Let's constantly get them on. It could be at that point you pivot to email, stuff like that. But then now if you change your vertical, you want to expand to a different vertical. It could be the automotive industry. It could be the contracting industry. the content is the same. For us, technology is technology. And if you're a CPA firm looking to market, again, it's the same thing. Your product is the same. The services that you offer don't change for the vertical. So you make yourself the expert in that
Right.
vertical, and have landing pages on your website. Because if someone just gets a postcard and says, because what we also do with postcards, we'll send out a free risk assessment, cybersecurity risk assessment, dark web scan. So we'll offer all these things separately on postcards that'll capture the right person at some point. I guarantee you, it's going to land on somebody's desk that wants to know something.
So, is there
Um,
in your mind? Are you? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So, are you able? Like, do you differ between, like, a farm list versus a prospect list, and do you direct mail list versus list, or is it just cards and drip?
So the answer is yes. They are. We do. They are categorized that way. I don't know
Okay.
how it's handled internally with who gets what, but I do know that we do differentiate. And maybe they don't get newsletters or postcards, or they only get postcards if it's a farm. I don't know what it is, but there is that breakdown, and it's
Mhm.
constantly maintained. It's constantly groomed, and we're constantly adding to it. I mean, we're in an area here. I think I told you guys this before on Long Island where we have. I mean, there's over 1,000 in a 2.5 mile square radius of businesses that we can hit. We haven't touched on that. I mean, it's just maybe a small percentage of that you know that area, but there's still so much more to do, and we have tens of thousands of contacts. So it's like, it's a lot of work keeping that clean and up to date, and it's cyclic, right? It's cyclic. You do you send out your campaigns, and you want to do it in January. So we paused, obviously in December. I don't want to, it's the end of the year for everybody, and the last thing, So again, two thoughts of focus on this. Are there those prospects that they want a clean slate in January? Do you market heavily in December and say, you know what, I want to get some phone calls in December, get some stuff scheduled for January? Or is it nobody cares in December? It's the end of the year. It's time to, focus on getting through the year. And so what we did was we stopped, our postcards went out, but any of our direct mail campaigns, we paused that, and we're starting them up again this week. But again, it's really what you do, whatever you want, what works for you. Keep track of your metrics. You know what you're sending out, and keep track of your responses, your appointments, and if you get an appointment, you know two things, right? You know that the contact has engaged some sense of interest, and you also know that your marketing is working. So with those two key things, I wouldn't say, I would say don't change anything there. There's nothing. Don't change something that's not broken, right? The email portion of it, we do. The only time we send out email communication to our clients is to schedule our annual meetings. That gets automated and sent to our clients, and then from there, it's really just communication. If there's a blast we need to send out, but nothing goes to prospects outside of any campaigns that we're running. We have cybersecurity tips when we onboard new clients. We try to collect all the employees' names. We dump them into our weekly tip campaign, and we get and that's sort of engaging as well. We get responses from clients on some of the things that we sent out, questioning how do I do this, how do I do that. But on the prospecting side, we and technically you can't email people that have not opted into your email
Right.
campaigns because of the mess that everyone gets in with all these blasts and spammers that are out there. So we wait for them to engage and to opt in. And I think
That's why
we all do
I
that
was
as
asking
well.
about the concept of doing direct mail, to a farm, because generally those are lesser known
Gold.
prospects, meaning we haven't completely cleaned or qualified that they're a good fit at
Exactly.
this point.
Exactly. And where do you get your stuff from, David? Your list? Do you do it on your own, you guys?
Yeah, we've been building our own list for years.
Yeah. You too, David?
Yes.
Yeah. You have someone that goes through that list and
Sometimes
constantly.
we get them from different organizations we're in also, the members and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I mean, again, it's
We have collected them from various organizations and such, and we do events, right? Like we do seminars and we do
Yeah.
in-person events. That's where you really get the good, I think.
yeah, that's a great point, David. That's something else that you can heavily market too, right? If you're doing could be a
Mhm.
speaking event or a cybersecurity event, and really, I think again, your vertical can probably help you with this. I know that if we want to do an event, whether it be a virtual webinar, whether it be an in-person event, we can get funding from our vendors that will help us sponsor marketing,
Mhm. Mhm.
food, pay for the event if you're having it somewhere. So those resources are available, and to be able to put something like that together is on your own. I think is an overwhelming task just to try to think of that. Get your vendors involved. I mean, if
Right.
you're again, I was in Vegas last year, and there was a huge automobile conference going on. That was, I mean, every vendor was there, and that these vendors are paying to be there. They're paying to put
Right.
these events together. So every industry has some sort of marketing marketing funds available
Oh, they all
to.
have an association or a member station or something,
Mhm.
right?
Most definitely,
Right.
most definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, that's a good point, Dave. To if you're having any type of speaking event, and so aside from just marketing your company and trying to get new business, an event like that where you can just say we're doing this, have some guest speakers like you guys just had that Virginia Tech Day, right?
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
just
Kevin
picked up.
O'Leary speaking with you.
Yeah. I mean, that certainly built up our list, right?
Yeah, we got you. So yeah, I mean that when I watched that whole event, I mean that was, what was that, 3 hours? 3 hour
Pretty
event,
close.
something like
Yeah. It
that.
was
I think it was.
one to
Yeah,
4:30 or 4:45, something like that. Yep.
yeah. And so what David did, guys, he had what's Virginia's first, what was it called? Tech Day? Whoops, you're welcome. um,
I
and
think they were discussing internet
he had
providers.
he had Mike McAllowitz on there, who did a nice, probably 30-minute discussion. Did he come back? No. And Kevin O'Leary talked at the tail end of. I think Kevin O'Leary was the closer for his event. Met with great success. I thought it was put together great. The content was great, very engaging. So that's something that if you can market that, your costs don't change, folks. If you're marketing to, 1,000 people, and now you're messaging to these 1,000 people is, hey, we're having an event and Kevin O'Leary speaking with us. It's the same people. The cost is the same to get that word out there, but
And I
you're
have it
more likely.
for 90 more days. I can continue to market to new people and get
Exactly.
them into the content because it's for 3 months for people to be able to go back and look and see, right?
Mhm.
So that
Yeah.
we'll repurpose that over and over and over again to keep driving
Yeah.
Nice.
more folks to that content. I thought that content was fantastic. I really did.
Absolutely.
I was really pleased with that.
It was very well put together. And then one of the things we do is which we're gearing up to do another one, just a referral campaign. So we get all the
Mm.
points of contact at all of our clients, not just our I mean, not our points of contact, all of their employees. So we have a point of contact with the employees. If we have 100 employees, we send them all. And listen, if you guys know anybody, you like us, which of course they all do, right? Then if you know anybody, family, friend, coworkers, whatever, that's looking for anything, if I get an appointment with them, you get $50, right? And then you put into a drawing for a $500 or $1,000 Amazon, once a year. Stuff like that is also, and again, that's something that could be on postcards or email, whatever. But just keep the flow going. Come up with different things. There's not one thing that we do that we kind of just set it and forget it and let it ride. There's a
Mhm.
bunch of different moving pieces that are running behind the scenes, and together, that's where you're going to get your results.
Right. No, I mean it's
So,
a lot of different layers.
you have to. There's no. Oh, I sent out 100 postcards. I didn't hear anything. This sucks. No, that's not. And it probably will. That's the. And I know people that have done that have just done the bare minimum.
I mean, I think a valid point. Depending on what industry you're in, I think it's common amongst a lot of industries. But for our industry, just as an example, it's not an easy change for a customer to go from one IT provider to another. So it oftentimes takes a long time to get to folks before you engage with them, right? Unless you happen to catch them right at just a catalyst of a problem or something else. But so it's safe to assume that that's the case with other industries too, right? Like if I'm I don't know, if I'm a dog, I want people to bring their dogs. They might be happy with their dog groomer now. So it's just so yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, except for that it's.
No, it's a fair point. That makes that absolutely. I mean, it's not, and I think we know this. That's part of our struggle, is trying to get in the door to plead your case, just to tell this is what you're not getting or what we can offer you, and kind of give you something that you're not getting now. Don't even talk about money. Talk about services, quality of service.
No value, right? But that's
exactly
the purpose of that drip marketing and that ongoing stuff, right? Like, so okay, you're not engaging them. You sent out 100 postcards, you didn't get a response. That's okay. You might have to do that 100 times, and then you start to get responses. I don't know. It's just a time thing. It doesn't all happen at once.
It is, and like you said, David, it's not like swapping insurance companies. Give me a quote.
Yeah.
Okay, here, take it. Done.
Exactly.
No, there's a lot of layers in what we do, and I get why it's hard for people to go ahead and first off even have that conversation. Like,
right.
They're
just
afraid to have that conversation. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like we were thinking about. We need a new office space. And for me to just think about moving, like, my goodness, like that is such an undertaking for me to even want to go look for another place. My landlord's safe. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it. I'm not going anywhere,
Right.
because I don't want to do it. Yeah.
We just did that in 2020, by the way, and I would not recommend
Yeah, I know. Perfect timing.
We're hoping a school move, and it's a lot of work.
Yep.
I don't want to get sidetracked, guys, but I deja vu'd 2 days ago when I was watching the news, and I heard that China is resurging with new variants, and that the vaccines are no longer effective. And it happens to be the same time of year that we heard that last time. And I'm just thinking, by March or April, are we going to be under lockdown again, or what? Like, where are we at with that?
That's an interesting point, and nothing. Listen, after what we've all gone through, nothing would.
I'm completely ready for it. Doesn't matter to me.
And to your point, David, we have postcards ready to go that we do send out, working remotely, working from home. Make sure you set up. Make sure you're secure. We have postcards with that messaging and branding, and they're ready to go. So,
but I think all the people that stayed in business through it are okay with it. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think we found a lot of different creative ways to work around it for the most part. Aside from, the folks who lost people and that kind of thing. And sure, there were businesses that suffered. I'm not trying to make minimization of that, but I think it could have been much worse, right? The ingenuity and just the ability to adapt and move really helped.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Couldn't agree more. All right, guys. Well, our time is up here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both. And
y'all have a great day.
Next Wednesday, 1:30, we will have. We're going to do Microsoft Flow and automation. I have that one ready to go.
Okay, great. I like that one. I'm ready for that. I got all kinds of fun stuff.
All right, guys.
I got to show you. We got to get together offline one time, guys. I got lots of new toys to show you. But anyway,
we'll have to do a Saturday thing.
That's what we need. Yep, definitely. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Have fun.
See you later.
Yep.